I thought I might do a range test of this FlySky radio and the FS-i6 ia6B receiver on the ground, as in on a ground vehicle low to the ground, where you don't have, well, you kind of have a line of sight, but it's not very clear. Like, you're kind of having to deal with the Fresnel effect and so on. So I actually just did this right now, and I struck a problem in that my video transmitter gave out way before the radio connection did. So I might have to get a 600 milliwatt video transmitter to do this with. So today's test was a little bit of a fail. I mean, it succeeded in that the receiver and the radio were able to work together quite well, even at low altitude. But as far as getting to the maximum range of this, it wasn't a very successful test in that respect. So today's test was more of a test of the range of this at low altitude than the range of this. And I put an HD camera on the front so we can have maybe a little bit better view of what's going on from the car's point of view. Anyway, I'll play some of this video and maybe tell you what's going on. So the active part of the receiver antennas are about 35 centimeters above the ground for this test. And for this particular run, I'm actually standing on a sort of a mound of earth that's been piled up for some reason. So I'm about a meter off the ground, and I'm holding the transmitter about chest height. So it's probably about 1.5 meters, well, close to 2 meters off the ground actually. Unfortunately, I did not get all that far with this one. There is a bit of a turn in the road, and there's a tree there, and possibly because of the tree, and also possibly because of the little aluminium bar that's in front of the video transmitter antenna on the car, couldn't really see too well past around about 200 meters, maybe a little bit further. So of course I still had full control because the radio control was fine, but I had to call it off here because I just couldn't see anything. So that location was just here. It's probably about 215 meters, the furthest point that I managed to get to. And of course I was in full control, but I just couldn't see anything. So unfortunately the line back to where I'm standing goes right through this tree, which does not help. And here's one of these kind of mound things that I was standing on, which does help, but couldn't get me any further than that. So for my next test I decided to use a 200 milliwatt transmitter and start from here, and this road has about almost exactly 500 meters. I wonder if that's a coincidence. Probably not, but anyway, this is more of a straight line and there's no obstructions in the way. This building actually has no walls, turns out, so that's not even really an obstruction either. So this was the next place that I tried. Okay, let's try this again. I've come out here to a spot where I have, I think, about 500 meters. It's not quite a straight line, and there's a structure in the way, but it doesn't have any walls. So I'm thinking that's not going to be any sort of interference to the radio signal. And I have a different setup here. Receiver is still the same, of course, but now the video transmitter is a proper FPV cam. That's the Runcam Swift Mini. And I have a proper, well, it's 200 milliwatt transmitter and a proper antenna. So it's all, we should be able to go quite a bit further with the video this time. And everything else is the same, of course. The road, unfortunately, looks a little bit rough the first little bit, and I think after that it should be a bit smoother. So I won't be able to go as fast as I did last time. But let's see what happens. Now for this run I do of course have the Runcam 3 stuck onto the front of the car again, as I did before, but unfortunately I tried a different SD card in it, exactly the same brand as the one that I was using the day before, but this one did not record. It looked for all the world like it was recording. It turned on, and then when you press the button to start recording, the LED flashed as if it was recording, but it wasn't. And I traced it down to some sort of a formatting issue with this card, because it started working again once I reformatted it or repartitioned it with another FAT32 partition. So
unfortunately we can't see any HD video for this particular run, so we'll just have to look at the video that I recorded from the video goggles.
Well, actually that's the corner there, that's the end of the road, or the end of that 500 metre mark there. Looks like we're about 50 metres away. So I'm guessing this is about 450 metres. I didn't bring my phone out here to use the GPS to measure distance, so that was dumb, wasn't it? But there's a watering trough there which I can look at on Google Maps. So we're almost that far, and yeah, I'm guessing that's 450 metres. Not too bad, eh? And I think I'll just drive it back from here and see if I can get back the other way, just in case there's any difference. And if I can get back to where I started, then I'll call it 450 metres for this configuration. Yeah, easy. Well, I didn't quite make it back just holding the transmitter at chest height. From about there I had to hold it over my head, like right up high, and then I could finally get back to here. But that's 450 metres both ways successfully, so I think we could call that the limit really of this transmitter receiver combo. And it turns out that the video was kind of giving out at around about the same point. So I think even if the radio control could go further, this video could probably not. But I'm not going to be doing this kind of long distance driving anyway, and it's really hard to find a place like this where you can do it. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this test. Thanks for watching.